As you can see, you end up with, if I don't drop them on the floor, very tiny little cube. Your peppers into a fine slice, suitable for salsa or something, you know, very simple. They're not perfect, but you know, as much as possible. It's time to add it to your soup. Adding it to the soup. There we go. So now we have our peppers and our onions and our chicken meat and our distilled soup. Now all we need to add is some salt, pepper, flavourings. Normally I would add some very finely sliced up chilli, but I have this thing that I got off the market which will do the job just as good. It's a peri-peri sauce bottle, and it was a large bottle for 50p. No, don't put too much, but just enough to give it a flavour. That'll probably do for that amount of liquid. I mean, I haven't mentioned, but that's half the amount of liquid that I had because I got bored of picking all the meat off the bone. So I saved half of the liquids, put it in the fridge to do another day, and you know, the rest of the chicken bones with the meat on. And it's a very condensed liquid, so you could, you know, add more water if you want, but I don't mind, I like condensed liquids. I'm also going to add some dressing, which, you know, is not normal, but it's got garlic and vinegar and herbs, and I think it'll do the job. I mean, it's a very nice shaped bottle. I mean, you'd make a nice vase if you wanted after using it. You could wash it out, take off the label. You could trim the top off and, you know, polish the glass down. It would make a very nice shape. Or it's like suitable for juggling. Okay, so I've got a bit more in here to show you what I meant with flour in the sauce, you know. If you could throw it about like that, but the end is a bit too big, so something like that. It'd also be good to put on new potatoes and, you know, marinate a roast before you put it in. So yeah, has many uses. Also with the shape of the bottle, if it wasn't so open, you could probably do the equivalent of flour with cooking. Not too much of that, you know, just a bit to add a bit more flavour, as I said. And like I said, don't smash it everywhere. And I'm going to add a bit of turmeric salt. I mean, I've made my own salt, flavoured salt. You might as well, I mean, it adds a bit of something of interest. And it's a good way of spreading out flavours. And this isn't turmeric salt, that's fenugreek salt, that one. But yeah, I mean, the salt takes on strong flavours. So it's always worth doing because you get more out of your ingredients. So and once you've done all that, just put it back on the heat, give it a stir, and also going to add some noodles to it to bulk it out a bit and make it more of a meal than just a soup. Because I had them sat in the fridge, I nearly forgot to add our giblets that we had cooked. So what you want to do is first I'll need a pair of scissors. Make sure that you have some separate scissors to what you might use for other things, such as herbs you might have growing in your kitchen. because otherwise, you know, it'll just get contaminated. So have some special ones just for your meat. Tip this over your chicken first. Just add the juices to it. I mean, it's going to cook off, so, you know. Why we kept it in the bag was to keep all of the juices so that it cooked decent. No, like boiled in its own juices rather than going rock hard or something. I'm going to need to cut that even more because it actually isn't open. Yeah, why I've left this to last as well is because you don't really want all the meat contaminating everything else you're cutting. Oh God. I will wash my hands and be right back. That's one for the outtake. Right, so hands washed, camera now repositions, hopefully more stable. You'll notice that there is a lot of meat on these things. I mean, it's a bit tough, but you know, because it's cooked in its own juices, it won't be tough to eat, but you want to strip all the little bits of meat off. Again, you know, it's a boring process. It would take quite a while. Just make sure you've got no bones in there. I mean, if you give it a squeeze, you can feel if there are any bones. But it's perfectly good meat. I'll just show you this little bit. I mean, once you've got it, just make sure your fingers are clear of the knife and bent over so that you won't cut the tip. But just so you can do it like that. Chop it down into tiny little chunks, which will be suitable to go into the soup. And do that with everything, all the little bits. You know, that's perfectly good quality soft. You could probably just crumble that straight in. I mean, that's, or use it for pate if you'd prefer, but you know, that doesn't really need much doing to it. Just add that last, because you know, it won't take long. It's already cooked, and you know, all these bits that look, they're not the best looking, but they're edible and good meat, good protein, you know. In a soup you won't notice it so much. If you had them separate they might taste different. I mean, everyone always wants to know how to use up the giblets, and along with the bones of the soup it's a good use. And rather than bore you with me doing this, I'll cut this here and show you it as it is after. So heat the soup back up again, and once you have it done, just portion yourselves and serve. Again with the camera. I always use a soup spoon, but mine had a little accident. So yeah, it's not as easy as it should be with a spoon like this. But always make sure you're holding the bowl over your pot, because then if you do have any spillages, this will just fall back into the pot rather than make a mess in your kitchen. And there you have it. With the remainder you can portion it into whatever containers you may have and put it in the freezer to reheat at any time. I'd recommend reheating it on the hob rather than in the microwave because of the liver and stuff, which if you microwave it will go very tough, whereas if you cook it on the hob gently it should stay tender and edible. So that's chicken noodle soup. Now all that's left to do is to sit down and eat with it. Stay tuned for outtakes from today's show, and I hope you enjoy your meal and whatever you are cooking in the future. If you have any comments or recommendations, I would appreciate them as to how to improve the show, you know, what I may have done wrong, or how I can get better camera angles and, you know, improve the sets. But yeah, and also if you have any recipe suggestions as to what you would like me to cook in the future, then just ask. And this would make a good lunchtime meal or a starter if you prefer, but you know, it's a tasty meal. I recommend both a spoon and a fork. I mean, I don't like giant spoons, I prefer a little spoon, so enjoy your meal and have a nice day. Okay, so I've got a bit more room in here to show you what I plan on doing. I mean, if you could, you know, about the right size to juggle. I'm not exactly the easiest to cut right now. So yeah, they're flying everywhere. I will leave them to defrost. More than you'd want would come out really. You know. Whilst the camera have a mind of its own. Yeah. I now have filthy hands, so I don't want to touch it. If I'm not holding on to the camera, it's a lot easier. I mean, I might have to do that in another take and show you so that I don't smash it everywhere. But yeah, I mean, balance the camera that's falling off is not the easiest thing. Yes. Yeah. So, I'm trying to Hello, and welcome to the first episode of